Nigel Farrell and Nippy Singh are friends who bought a derelict farmhouse together in the south of France, which they want to convert into a family holiday home. It's in a hilltop hamlet in the Ardèche Mountains. They'd allowed a modest amount for renovation, so the architect's estimate came as a shock.
It was £8,500. It's actually £85,000.
Nonetheless, they agreed that building work should get underway. And Nigel meets a mortgage broker to try and get a loan for his share of the work.
As
far as I'm concerned, one thing is absolutely certain. If you don't come up with money, then that's it.
It's dawn at Les Fabres, and Nigel and Nippy are meeting their builder, Monsieur Golette, and his two Spanish workers, José and Ricardo.
Bonjour, José. Ça va? Ça va. Ça va, Ricardo?
Bonjour. Ricardo, bonjour.
Le travail est superbe. Beaucoup de travail.
Beaucoup.
Et les hommes travaillent tous les jours.
Oui.
Fantastique.
C'est parce que vous êtes là.
Oui.
Pour regarder.
Oui, oui, oui.
Quand vous êtes parti, oh non, hein.
Is that only work when we're here? No, no, no. No, it's fantastic. Et plus rapide que nous pensons. Plus rapide.
Alors c'est bien que la France, elle donne une bonne impression à l'Angleterre.
Non, ce n'est pas possible. Non, 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 ce n'est pas possible.
In France, the builder's schedule is agreed and adhered to under constant supervision of the architect, who has to report to the mayor if they fall behind schedule. Nigel and Nippy's architect, Paul Roeder, is also up early and has come for one of his routine inspections. It's a huge task.
Et puis? Après, on met le...
The house is an empty shell.
Pour couler les...
They've got to dig into the rock to lower the ground floor,
All the ground floor first.
create a first floor from scratch, and enlarge all the doors and tiny windows. It'll take months, and Nigel wants to be involved in every aspect of it. Nippy hates DIY. Rather than get his hands dirty, he'd rather spend time getting in with the locals. He's agreed to teach English to his friend Eve, the shepherd, who lives just down the hill.
Cheers.
Good, very good.
Well,
How do you do?
how do you do? Yes?
Fine, thank you.
Fine,
Thank you.
thank you.
How about good morning?
Bonjour. Good morning.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Good morning.
Good morning. How do you do?
Fine, thank you, Eve.
Ah, fine, thank you.
Yeah, you understand?
You.
Yeah. Good morning, Eve. How do you do?
Fine, thank you, Nippy.
Wonderful. Very good.
Thank you.
Very good.
Oh.
Very good.
Nigel is keen to roll up his sleeves and do what he can to help the builders. As well as wanting to save time and money, he really enjoys mucking in. Together, they start to make rapid progress. There aren't even any tea breaks on this building site. Over the years they've been working together, Monsieur Golette and his men have become addicted to chocolate instead.
Vous avez bien travaillé, vous avez droit du chocolat.
Ah, merci.
I only allowed a little bit because I hadn't done so much work with some cigarettes, oui? Oui.
Comment on dit le verre?
Glass.
Nippy's finding Eve's English lesson an uphill struggle.
Glass. Wine.
Wait. Wine.
Wine. Bottle.
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 Glass. Wine.
Wine.
Would you like some wine from the bottle? You say yes.
Yes?
Yeah, that's it.
It's very difficult.
No, it's not difficult.
See.
And when I come back next time, you must remember all this because I will test you.
Oh. Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. It's not possible. Speaking, is not possible speak English.
No, okay,
No.
forget. What about Punjabi? Let's speak Punjabi.
Punjabi.
English, how are you? Comment ça va? Français?
Oui.
Punjabi? Kida?
Khaled, help, help. Help.
Up at Les Fabres, with all the drainage pipes now in place, the ground floor is ready to be laid. Soon they'll need to be making tons and tons of concrete, and not just for the floors. All the new interior doors and archways will also have to be reinforced with large quantities of concrete. But to make the concrete, they're going to need hundreds of gallons of water. In the meantime, Nigel and Nippy have fallen out over the disposal of all the rubble.
I can't believe that while my back was turned, Nigel has allowed the builders to dump tons of rubble on the verge to create a parking space of all things, and without consulting me. It's typical of Nigel to be so thoughtless. We never discussed it before, did we?
Well, he said to me, do you want to... I suggest we put the rocks here.
So he just sort of took you in the corner and said,
Yeah,
I want your
I
decision
had
now.
to make a decision because the guys have been unloading this stuff. So I had to decide. But
It's nice to talk things over, do you think?
Well, I couldn't, Nippy. I had to make a decision, you know. It was either that they either put it there or they start putting it in the lorry. And I had to decide there and then. But anyway, I think this is quite a good idea.
I wouldn't have done this. I would have said, hang on, let me speak to Nigel first.
Well, I couldn't. Well, I didn't.
Yeah, of
Because
course
I thought this was a good idea.
I mean, was
And
it
the other thing he said was that if you imagine this stretched out to where the tree is, there's lots of room to park the cars, and then we've got the shade from the trees. So,
Oh, I thought this tree was coming down.
well, I think only the dead bit needs to come down. Because if you take it down, then there's no shade for the cars.
Why do you want shade for the cars?
Well, you know what it's like in August. Can I speak my mind on this one?
Well, you generally do, don't you?
But don't you think, listen, if you just cut that there, that is going to be absolutely red hot in the middle of August. You won't be able to sit there, you won't be able to do anything. And look, you only
Why
need...
would you want? I mean, why would you want to sit there?
Well, you might want to have a barbecue or something.
Well, why would you want to have barbecue? Why couldn't you have barbecue there?
Why are you being so irritable today, Nippy?
Inside the house, Monsieur Galette has run into difficulties.
D'accord. Mais on a besoin de savoir parce que sinon on doit s'organiser pour avoir de l'eau, nous. Hein? Sinon, on réquisitionne les pompiers. Eh oui, parce que sinon, comment on ferait le béton s'il n'y en a pas d'eau? Mais il faudra mettre des barres de 10 dedans.
Et le problème avec l'eau ici?
Oui, on attend après l'eau pour faire le béton. Et...
They put in their request for a water point for the house some time ago, but nothing's happened. So far, Monsieur Galette and his builders have been bringing their water up with them. But concrete for the floors and archways will require huge quantities. And with the next-door neighbour away, a connection to the water mains is vital. Nippy has promised his wife and daughters that whenever he gets a moment, he'll explore the area around Les Fabres to check out things for them to do when they come to stay. The Ardèche is where the French choose to holiday. It's a rugged landscape full of grottos and gorges, like the Pont d'Arc, which bridges the famous river Ardèche.
Bonjour. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Just take it nice and easy, Nippy.
Yeah.
Keep it cool here.
With you behind me, man.
Stop it. Behave.
This is superb, nice. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful.
Amazing, isn't it?
Nature.
Works in wondrous ways. Look at that.
It's very profound for you, Nippy.
Yeah.
Up at Les Fabres, the guys from the water board have arrived to install a connection. In Nigel and Nippy's absence, they decide the only place to put the meter is on the land outside the house, land owned by neighbour Monsieur Carbonero. It's a decision that could prove unpopular.
Il n'y a pas d'autre solution. On ne peut pas faire autrement parce qu'il faut absolument de l'eau pour travailler. Ça fait 3 semaines qu'on porte de l'eau avec des jerrycans et on ne peut pas continuer comme ça. Alors ils sont obligés d'ouvrir la route à nouveau. C'est dommage, mais il n'y a pas d'autre solution que celle-là.
Monsieur Carbonero, the neighbour, is away staying with his family in Marseille. In his absence, the men from the water board are digging in the connecting pipes without his permission.
Oh my God. Woo! Wow. Kids dropping out of the skies like flies.
The Ardèche is an area largely unknown to British tourists, and Nippy and Nigel agree it's the most perfect place to bring their children to. They must get the house at Les Fabres finished and habitable as quickly as possible. The water board is making sure that the laying of the pipes on Monsieur Carbonero's land is an almost irreversible process. Manu, the estate agent, is worried about Monsieur Carbonero's reaction.
Donc là, c'est le branchement de l'eau de ville.
Oui, ils ont piqué là-bas.
Mais dites, là, vous êtes sur le terrain de Carbonero, là.
Oui, mais...
Vous lui avez demandé?
Moi, c'est...
Non, mais on n'a pas le choix.
C'est pas moi.
On n'a pas le choix.
C'est la SOR.
Il ne peut pas être sur la route, le compteur. Vous l'avez pas vu?
Non, mais il n'était pas là, il était absent.
Oh là là. Vous allez voir le, vous allez voir le souci, hein.
On ira en discuter.
There may be trouble ahead, but Manu and Paul the architect aren't sticking around to find out. Nigel and Nippy's neighbour, Monsieur Carbonero, is back from his visit to Marseille.
Qu'est-ce que c'est ça? Eh monsieur, qu'est-ce que c'est ça?
Ça?
Comment ça se fait qu'ils ont placé ça? Personne ne m'a demandé l'autorisation là.
Mais vous n'étiez pas là, monsieur Caron.
Eh ils auraient pu me téléphoner, ils avaient le numéro de téléphone, j'avais laissé mon numéro de téléphone de Marseille.
Ah, moi je ne savais pas.
Ah,
Eh oui, maintenant c'est fait parce qu'ils n'ont pas le droit de mettre leur regard sur la rue. Il fallait le mettre à retrait et à l'extérieur de la propriété.
Dropping Nippy off at his hotel in Vals-les-Bains, Nigel heads up to Les Fabres.
Vous auriez pu me consulter avant de mettre la prise d'eau là-bas.
À la pointe.
Oui, le point d'eau.
Oui.
Pourquoi vous ne m'avez pas téléphoné?
Monsieur Carbonero, je suis désolé, mais je pense que l'architecte a tous les faits.
Mais non, l'architecte, il n'a rien fait, il ne m'a rien demandé.
Il ne téléphone à vous?
Non, il ne m'a pas téléphoné. Personne ne m'a téléphoné, personne ne m'a rien dit. Je suis au courant de rien. C'est pas gentil, ça, parce que moi, je vous faisais confiance. Et derrière mon dos, vous faites les travaux que vous voulez. C'est pas honnête.
Oui.
C'est pas honnête.
Mais je suis désolé, monsieur Carbonero, parce que vous êtes un bon voisin et...
Non, c'est pas gentil.
The last thing they need is an irate neighbour. All Nigel can hope for is that in time, Monsieur Carbonero will see sense and calm down. Next morning, and Nigel seems stressed.
I'm fed up with Nippy. I'm the one who's left to sort out the neighbours and do the lion's share of all the work around here.
We're getting late, man. I'm sailing.
To the abseiling.
You mad, Nigel? Do you want to come or not?
I might join you later. You go have fun.
In recent years, the Ardèche Mountains and the dramatic cliffs which suddenly appear amongst them have become popular for abseiling, and Nippy's again checking it out for the family.
We're going to start right here.
Nippy's been invited to give abseiling a go by a group of friends who include Celine, the mortgage broker, who Nigel is waiting to hear from about his loan, and who he's rather taken a shine to.
Nigel is mad. I told him, come here, you'll enjoy it. Look at this scenery.
C'est magnifique.
You know, try a bit of abseiling. Try a bit of abseiling. Yeah? Yeah, but Nigel says no, he wants to stay up there. I think he's as scared as I am.
Yeah.
But the point is, you know, unless you try it...
You try it and he won't.
Right, this stuff is to control the way down, called the height, right? And the rope is gonna go inside.
Okay.
And you have to hold the rope. That's all you have to do. Okay, you ready?
Nippy, ça va?
Yeah, Nippy, yeah, keep going.
Well, my
good.
fingers are very, very sweaty.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. I hold the rope for you. Yes.
Très beau, Nippy.
Yeah?
It's okay. It's okay. No worries. Yeah, I'll let you go now. It's your...
With the builders gone from Les Fables at the end of the working day, Nigel decides to join the abseilers.
Let your legs straight. Yes, good.
Il est dessous, là, celle-là. Tu vois?
Oh! Hi, Nigel.
Comment allez-vous?
Ah, mais je croyais que tu venais pas.
Où est Nippy?
Il est descendu?
Il est descendu?
Oui.
Very good.
Et t'es le premier à descendre.
Non.
Maintenant, c'est à toi.
Non, non. Oh. Oh.
Je ne pas le voir.
Non, non, mon Dieu.
Yes, yes,
Ah, non, 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 pour moi, non, non.
Nippy est descendu, il avait encore plus peur que toi au départ.
Pour moi, c'est un grand problème parce que je suis vertigo.
Bloody good. Bloody good. Now you have a right to kiss Coco. Coco!
Very good.
Nigel takes the opportunity to ask Celine about the loan he now urgently needs for his share of the renovation work at Les Fables.
Un petit problème. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
J'ai un problème, c'est parce que je suis en train de voir avec mes supérieurs parce que tu n'as pas des revenus qui sont réguliers.
Oui.
Donc je suis en train d'essayer de voir avec mes supérieurs si ça peut passer, mais c'est vrai que j'ai du mal. Oui. J'insiste.
Oui. Ah, oui, compris. C'est un problème pour moi, mais s'il vous plaît, vous nous dites cet sujet à Nippy.
D'accord.
Oui?
Promis.
Promis?
Mm.
Okay.
Celine tells Nigel he must try abseiling and offers him an incentive.
Mais toi aussi, tu vas le faire?
Non, 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 non.
Si tu le fais, on fait un resto tous les deux un soir.
Un restaurant? À deux? Si, je?
Alors?
Je pense.
Tu réfléchis.
Oui.
The opportunity of a date with the lovely Celine is too good to miss, even for someone with vertigo.
It's just a feeling of, you know, it just goes completely against one's natural instinct. This is the problem.
Nigel, we move to your left. Now you're good.
I have a genuine and powerful fear of heights, but I realized if Nippy had been down, I'd never have heard the last of it if I'd refused.
Okay, let you go.
Okay.
Let the rope go in the 8. Okay, guys.
I'm moving my legs, yeah?
It's good.
Ah!
We did half of the roads. Nigel! Pense au restaurant, chérie!
Shut up! I'm
Nigel, the only consolation you have is you're too old to die young.
Celine?
Oui.
Oui,
Yes.
Nigel.
Nous avons entrée et le plat principal.
Même le dessert.
And the dessert.
Up, up, girls, please come.
Oh mon Dieu! Mon Dieu!
Bravo!
Absolutely. My legs have gone.
Good job.
Easy, mate. Oh, thank you. Cloud, thank you.
Next morning, and reality returns with a bump. Nigel still hasn't sorted out his mortgage or his angry neighbour, Monsieur Carbonero. He's gone round in an attempt to patch things up. Monsieur Carbonero is nowhere to be seen, but has left Nigel a note.
What he says is, je suis triste, I'm very unhappy with what's happened about the point d'eau, the water point. Frappé la confiance ensemble nous, it's I suppose sort of destroyed the trust, I think, confiance, trust between us. This is the worrying bit. He says, j'insiste, le point d'eau, I insist the water point is moved into the wall. So what he's insisting we do is move the water point here, which Mr. Gallette's just put in at a cost of about £800, close this up and put it into the wall.
At that moment, the builder, Monsieur Gallette, arrives.
Vous, il voulait mettre ça là dans le mur.
Monsieur Gallette is horrified at the suggestion that the water point should be moved. It's technically a difficult and time-consuming job to build it into the wall, and it will be extremely expensive.
C'est beaucoup trop cher parce que le tuyau qui va de là, de la conduite principale, jusque là, le tuyau noir et bleu, donc il faut faire un gros travail qui coûtait très cher.
Très cher.
C'est la folie. C'est pas possible. C'est possible, mais coûter beaucoup d'argent pour pas beaucoup de résultats.
So just to summarise the situation then, I'm going to have to find heaven knows how much, possibly several £1,000s to move the water point. I've not got my loan, and our neighbour's not talking to us, so things are really great.
Next week, Nigel goes on his big date with Celine.
No, dude.
Whilst everyone agrees that the view from Nippy's bedroom is not quite what they had in mind.
We haven't spent £2,000 so that I could look on Marcel's underpants.
And that'll be next Saturday at 6. Tomorrow, the Time team is on a rescue mission in Scotland at 5:35. Stay with 4. The news is next.